Welcome to Conversations in the Closet. I'm Teresa Romer, and my guest today is the amazing Carmen Carrera. Welcome, Carmen.
Hi, Teresa. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, so for the listeners out there, if you're not familiar with who Carmen is, she is a reality TV personality, a model, a burlesque performer. She's an actress. I mean, like the list can go on and on and on.
I am an
But thank
activist
you.
as well.
Exactly, exactly. And that's really why we have you on the show today. We're reaching out to you to talk to you a little bit about, this all this crap. I call it crap because it's crap. Having the president roll back the transgender students' rights. I mean, there's no one better to talk about this than you.
Yes. I mean, it definitely is crap. I agree with you on that. It's most importantly for me, I've always been someone who believes in influencing young people better because, young people are so vulnerable and they're so kind of open to the information that we give them as adults. And I know that me raising two kids at home, I always think about, what am I preparing my kids for? What am I, what knowledge am I passing down to them? So when the president of the United States sends a message to young trans people, it's it's just it makes me want to fight at the
Oh,
risk of
no,
sounding
exactly.
ghetto. But because I'm really passionate about children, and I've always wanted to be a really good example for my community. And I felt like for so long we were doing so well with breaking ground and trailblazing in entertainment and really getting the message out there and enlightening so many people. And I really believe that in doing this and being part of this process, you always, when you shine a light, you always kind of see all the ugly before it gets better. And I'm really hoping that this is just part of that process, and we can try to rebuild and enforce, I guess, the unity within our community to be more creative in our strategic kind of planning on how to rebuild our civil rights, our human
Right,
rights.
right. And I couldn't agree with you more. It seems like these past few years we've come so far in, legalizing gay marriage, and myself, I have a lot of gay friends. I have a lot of transgender friends. And so I remember being invited last year to the LGBT big gala. And that was my first time of actually using co-ed bathrooms, and I didn't even have a problem with it. And I don't think most people have a problem with it. So I really don't understand what's going on and why he's trying to roll this back now. And it's got our kids in a tailspin because, like I said, it seems like we've come so far, and now to have everything going backwards again, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of feel like there's so much ignorance, and I kind of how and where it all started. And for me, I remember growing up and watching on Jerry Springer.
Oh, I love Jerry Springer.
Yeah, the scenarios where they have, the person come out with their lover and they reveal that they were, born a different gender or whatever it is. And I feel like a lot of that programming has been the foundation for the ignorance in this country. So the media plays a huge role. The television plays a huge role, and I really hope that we all use this opportunity to help educate one another. And it starts with our allies. Like I see that you have trans friends and gay friends, and I'm sure you are considered an ally. And we need more people like you to understand where we're coming from and why we feel the way we feel. Because most people, everyone has their problems and their issues and their day-to-day kind of challenges, but I don't think anyone truly understands what it feels like to not be allowed to use a restroom, to not be allowed to love the person you love, to not be able to really shine and develop your personality because of what society tells you, and
Right.
I really hope that this helps people to put things in perspective and kind of, I hope we gain some allies out of all of this.
Right. And, last year when Caitlyn Jenner she became Caitlyn over Bruce, I thought we had come very far just with that going on. I mean, didn't,
Yeah.
I mean, like that when she got her own show, I just felt like that was like huge in the transgender world.
Yeah, I think so too. Me personally, without, you know, insulting Caitlyn
Right.
Jenner, but I kind of feel like she's a bit new for her. She has, you know, a roof over her head. She's educated. She has a family. She has all of the things that trans people ought to have, you know. So it's kind of a gift and a curse with Caitlyn. I think that she was able to bring the topic to light, opening the door for activists like myself, like Laverne Cox, like Janet Mock, like Gina Rosero. You know, so it's definitely been a help. But I also think that with that type of exposure, you receive a lot of the ignorance and stuff. And I think someone like Caitlyn Jenner, I don't think she was exactly prepared for that. I don't really think anyone's prepared for that, but it was definitely, it had its benefits, but at the same time, I think the point has yet to come across on a mainstream level. And I'm speaking about me personally, the struggles that I deal with as a trans woman who kind of, you know, I believe in merging the societies. You know, I come from, you know, a drag kind of background, coming from the nightlife, and coming from other trans women who are sex workers, not necessarily by choice. And now I'm trying my best. You know, I just got my birth certificate changed to female. Unfortunately, when you do that, your credit gets reset. So now I have to start from level 0, basically.
Right.
And just, you know, build on my respect as a woman, you know, and I'm faced with ignorance. But I think that it's really tough. And I hope that we have more chances like Caitlyn Jenner has had to tell our story, you know, to help spread the knowledge, you know?
Right. And, you know, believe me, I truly believe that, you know, Caitlyn Jenner's story is totally different than the real transgender world, because like you said, she was already famous. She already had a roof over her head. She already had millions of dollars. You know, she didn't really have to deal with what the normal transgender person has to deal with.
Yeah, and she's educated, which is, you know, really important. She's, you know, when you live this life, you don't have many options. You don't have many resources available to you at your disposal, you know, like, she's educated, she's experienced. I mean, she's an Olympic athlete,
Right.
you know, she has a lot of security that we don't have. She has a lot of, I guess, just, she has things to fall back on.
Right. So, you know, what would your words of encouragement be to the smaller transgender teens out there that are scared to death right now?
Well, my word of advice would definitely be, you know, we have to keep going. It's going to be a difficult is, you know, we have to try to be there for each other. And this is our building. This is basically a building block. This is where we get to prove everyone else wrong. This is where we get to go to college and we get to have our careers and we get to, you know, flourish into the beings that we know in our hearts that we are, because no one else out there really knows who you are on the inside. And it just takes a little bit more work to have to build. And we're just at that point right now. And we have to keep going, because if we give up, then, you know, no one else is going to fight for us like we will.
Right. But don't you think in the transgender world, we're kind of at a spot where the gays were maybe back in the 70s and 80s, where back in the 70s and 80s, it was not acceptable to be gay. And gays were called horrible names. I mean, and gays were scared to death to even come out of the closet because it was not acceptable. And now here we are in 2016, 2017, where it's okay to be gay and you're welcomed and you can get married as a gay, and we've come so far. So don't you think that's what's going to happen with the transgender world?
Well, I'm really hoping that, you know, that will happen, but you have to understand that with trans people, I think it's a little bit different, because we have to work hard for the respect of who we are becoming, and that's a lot for people to deal with. And I guess it is kind of similar because many people have built their identity on the idea of like, the male and the female roles.
Right.
And that obviously was questioned back when, when gay people were fighting for their rights. And I think that now I think it's a little bit tougher, honestly. And it's not like being biased or anything, but
Right.
because I've dealt with, you have to understand, I lived a gay experience, so I do remember, but the difference is that I had resources. I had many more people who thought the same way that I did. As they're very limited resources that you have. So it's almost like a lonelier kind of experience,
Right.
and yeah. So for me, I'm hoping that, something really great happens where we do have that moment of like, yes, this was worth it. But really, honestly, it's like touch and go. It's like a everyday kind of like, I have to motivate myself to get up and feel good and continue to fight for what I believe in. And it's a lot of like almost, I'm having to convince large groups of people, and that's a challenge. But we have social media, we have our allies, we have people like you who definitely get it and are there for us. So I try to focus on the bright side.
Right. Right. So if you don't mind me asking, at what age were you when you felt like you were in the wrong gender body?
Oh my God, I was in kindergarten.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I was in a Catholic school in a very urban influenced neighborhood. And that's, out of respect, I say that. And I remember always feeling like I didn't really believe that I was a boy. I was like, in my mind, I was like this beautiful girl.
Oh, so you always saw yourself as a girl?
Yeah, I did until I kissed a boy in kindergarten and got kicked out of Catholic school. And then I was in public school, and then I had a real like tough time in my first grade public school, and I taught myself how to just be silent and to kind of watch. I watched everyone until I was like in high school, and I started to I didn't really develop my people skills back then. I didn't kind of know how to cope with life. I didn't, all the things that you learn in high school, how to interact. You develop your self-confidence. You have your prom experiences. I never had any of those things, so I had to.
And so when you decided to really come out, I guess, did you come out as a gay first?
Well, yeah, I didn't think that transitioning was possible for me.
Right.
So I just figured, well, all right, I like men, so I guess I'm going to have to just explore the option of living the rest of my life identifying as a gay male. And through that experience was when I got to learn about trans women, about expressing my femininity, and I did that with my the drag shows and the competitions and stuff. And back then, if you ever questioned your gender identity or your sexual orientation, you found yourself at the gay club. That's just where you would go,
Right.
And it was just a mix of all these different people who, were attracted to what they were attracted to and were proud. I'd never been exposed to people who are proud of being who they are.
Right.
I
So when you decided to come out as a gay, were your parents 100% supportive on that? Because I find I have a lot of friends that their parents don't stand behind them. They've shunned them to the curb. Gays as well as transgenders, and you can feel their pain. Like you can feel that pain.
Well, my mom, I kept it a secret from my family for a really long time. By the time I started to transition or think about transitioning was when they kind of found out. So I didn't really give my family time to adjust to the idea that I was not who I said I was. I so I didn't necessarily have to deal with the shunning. I had to deal with the explaining. I had to explain to my mom why I didn't tell her sooner, and why I essentially put myself at risk, identity, by going out, and trying to find myself instead of just being honest and saying, Mom, this is who I am and this is who I feel that I am. I probably would have had a different life, but I don't know, I guess because my first experience in school was to like remain quiet and remain silent, that I never really opened up. So luckily for me, I never dealt with any of that with my family. It was more about like the kind of like the guilt, like, man, I should have told my mom sooner. I should have been more honest with my family. But that's my own experience. But for the most part, throughout high school, I stood really quiet and I witnessed people getting bullied, and I never said anything, and that really bothered me. Once I found respect for myself and pride in myself, and that's why I'm such an advocate now, because the louder my bark, the sooner someone else will pick up that message and hopefully, be able to be strong and be comfortable in who they are. I had to sacrifice most of my childhood just because I wasn't able to have the resources and look up to anyone, who had a positive kind of positive image,
Right.
That's what fuels me now to be that person. But luckily my family loves me and accepts me.
So have you had any horrible experiences in transgender bathrooms or anything?
Oh yeah. When I first started transitioning, I was on tour with RuPaul's Drag Race. So I was basically living out of an airport, and I was very androgynous. My hair wasn't long enough to put in a ponytail. I wasn't feminine enough, but I was in between genders, and I didn't know what bathroom to use. Most of the time I used the family restroom, because the times that I would use the ladies restroom, I'd get like the looks and sort of like the attitude. I didn't have anything where, I was like asked to leave, or, but you just feel that, you just feel it with the interaction. I'm a very bubbly kind of personality. I can get along with just about anyone. So, when you look up to someone to smile in the mirror and they kind of look away or give you that look of disgust, it kind of pierces your soul a little bit, because you feel like, well, who's on my side? Like, does anyone love me? Like, I don't know. Like,
so you've had to get really, you've had to get, sometimes I'm sure you've just felt completely alone out there in your battles of trying to become a woman, but
absolutely. And it was just based on the way that I looked, because we're all in the same spirit. Will function on what's on the outside, what you're wearing. They'll judge you on what job you have, what car you drive, versus on the type of person you are, and how many hours are you putting into your behavior. How, what are you doing to help people less fortunate than you? I think that some people get so wrapped up in who they're supposed to be, or how they want others to kind of receive them, and they get lost in their ego, and they kind of lose that kind of like human connection to the rest of the world. So for me, it was a struggle to find women who would just support me and have my back. And now that I do kind of blend into society now, I still look for those women, and I found great friends. And I found women who kind of almost forget that I'm trans, because it's not necessarily an issue. It's more about the issues that I deal with as a woman. I need help. I wasn't prepared for womanhood as a child.
Right.
So there's many things that I still don't understand emotionally, just in interacting with men and other women, and what's acceptable, what's not so acceptable, and those things I still look for guidance.
Right. So I'm going to say the takeaway here is, no matter what, we all have rights. No matter whether you're gay, no matter whether you're transgender, no matter whether you're fat, skinny, black, Mexican, white, it just does not matter. Everyone in this world has rights, and
yeah. What's happening? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Teresa. Something happened.
Yeah, stay on. It's okay. I'll edit it out. This is gonna get so many hits.
I can't hear.
She'll be on. We're still recording.
We're having sound difficulty, so I'm just gonna play with my face. I want to try that like cross-eyed, but then like move one eye. See if it works.
You know who you remind me of? The lead singer from Bush. Gavin Rossdale.
Yes,
Duh, see? Yeah.
he kind of reminds me too.
He's
of,
a very handsome guy, so.
he-
Yes.
Yeah, he does look like him.
Tell me, whose husband?
He
What's
reminds
Stefani's
he
husband?
reminds me of Tatiana from Drag Race. It's just the way that you tell your voice, not the way you look. Where did she go?
Yeah, I told her to log out and come back in. Happens.
Like Gavin Rosdale for sure.
Oh, bad.
I see it.
Oh yeah, you look exactly. He had that ponytail too. I used to have short hair though. I was trying out something.
Like Gavin Rosdale younger.
Yes. Yes. Before Gwen got to him.
Look, see?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit. My light. The eyes.
See?
Got
Yeah.
thicker brows.
Yeah. My eyebrows back. I'm so blessed my wife plucks them for me. To a certain point that it doesn't look that bad. Did you see that right before his speech? He said, "Oh yeah, we're thinking about giving the immigrants that are just to get ratings up, and then it'll go back down." Teresa, Mike, can you log back in? Just go from your phone. Internet connection. I love this guy. Yeah. He's our descendant. He's Jewish too. So if that's your grandfather, this will be your uncle.
Well, probably great uncle.
Say uncle. All right, so I'm in London.
Oh yeah, there's events. Do you have upcoming events that we can put in here?
London.
Okay, well, I'm about to hit it before traffic gets super bad.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I want to get out of here before he gets bad too.
Carmen, are you going to be here on Thursday or do you leave on Thursday?
Maybe April 5th or the 4th. I leave Thursday, so you're here tomorrow?
I'm here on Thursday. You tell me you leave on Thursday.
Oh, like 1. So I'll probably
I'll
see you
be
in the
here in the
morning.
morning, yeah.
Okay.
I'll see you
Okay.
then. You guys Have a great rest of the podcast.
For-
Is it,
Thank you.
Thank you.
is it visual or is it just like a
Just audio.
audio? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will. Here, I'll give you. Like my email, my contact.
Yeah. Let me. There you go. Definitely stay in touch. Yeah. But you're going back to Texas, right?
No, my plan is to move out here.
Okay.
Somebody sent me pictures of their peanut.
To put my company as Peg.
In Instagram?
Yeah.
Do you get that a lot? That's ratchet. Awesome. I'll give you a missed call.
Alright, cool.
There you go.
Yeah, and then,
Get it? Maziar. Maziar.
M-O.
M-A-Z. Yeah, Maziar. Last name is M-A-H.
M-A-Z-I-A-R.
Yeah.
And the last name
M-A-H-B-O-U-B-I.
What is that?
Mahboubi.
M-A-H-B-O-B-I?
B-O-U-B-I.
B-O-U-B-I.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Persian.
Persia. Oh, you're Persian Jewish.
Yes.
We had a lot of those in my synagogue.
Yeah.
Really cool. Their last name was Lavi.
Lavi.
L-A-V-I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my dad's side of the family, they're all in Beverly Hills.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Okay. That's where you find us.
Right.
So if he puts an ice raid on Jews, we're right there.
Oh God, he won't be able to come into Beverly Hills. What's your
After DR King,
That's right. That's right.
without the A. So After Dark Creative Media.
What's a good store where I can just buy like basics, like monochromatic outfits?
Sexy outfits?
No, like just like same color outfits.
American Apparel.
They're out of business.
No, they're still around. They don't close until
No?
for a couple more months, and
Couple more months,
they have
yeah.
multiple locations in LA.
Interesting.
You can try Urban. There's a place called Space 24.
Space. I've never heard of Space 24.
I think it's owned by Urban. I'm not quite sure. It's off Cahuenga. But American Apparel's still around, so that's my first thought when I think of something like that.
Space 24.
Yeah, Cahuenga. I think it is Urban.
Space 24.
I'm pretty sure that's what's.
Are you sure?
What do you need?
It's the shop.
Where do you live, Jerry? Around here?
Yeah, my university program actually has me at the Oakwoods. That's
Oakwood.
Toluca Hills. So
Okay.
right up Barham, Universal City kind of area.
You have a drive, quite a drive on the 101, which is pure traffic.
Actually, no.
No?
Getting here is so easy.
Yeah? But not at this time.
Takes me 30 minutes. 40 tops. Because I don't take 101, sometimes I just take 5.
Okay,
A lot faster.
I see.
5 to 134.
God, I hate the 5.
134 to.
I always mess up my
I
car
hate
on the
101.
5.
5 is, I like it.
I get those potholes everywhere.
Space
The
24 is actually
5.
not popping up. I don't know what I've seen then. Wait, hold on.
Do you have any more pictures that you need up there?
No. Yo, Glad is kind of annoying. I don't like them anymore.
Why?
Because every single time they send me an email, like for instance, Moonlight won at the Academy Awards. They send an email, oh, add your list to the list of names so that we can congratulate Moonlight. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I click on it. And then before you can add it, you have to make a donation.
Of money?
Yeah.
To God?
Mm-hmm. They do that with all of their emails that they send me.
Hmm.
Like, we're forming together to write a petition to the governor. But in order to do that, you have to make a donation.
Yeah, minimum requirement too.
Yeah. It's like, I think like, it's like $35 each time. But I'm just like, but what does Glad need all this money for? I don't understand.
Okay, perfect.
What are they doing with the money? I never saw
Teresa.
Glad make any donation.
Hey, we lost power.
Oh, you lost power.
Yeah, we have a bad storm going on.
Okay, so I didn't stop it, so it's still recording, but you guys have like a minute. You want to just end it there, and also let's do Carmen's social media too, which is Carmen, just tell her _ Carrera on Instagram and Twitter.
I'll just say, everybody find Carmen out there on social media. Carmen, let's tell everybody where you're located, and you can tell them.
Exactly. Here you go.
Hola.
Hi again.
Hi.
So once again, the takeaway here is, just stand up for your rights, stand up for what you believe in, no matter whether you're gay, transgender, black, white, Hispanic. It just doesn't matter, just stand up for your rights and speak loud, right?
Yeah, and also, you are allowed to exist, like you are allowed to be who you are and love who you love, and you're entitled to your basic human rights to survive and to function amongst everyone else equally. I think everything else is kind of secondary to like those basic kind of human rights, civil rights. And I really wish that people all across the board understood that, is that we all should have at least the opportunity to try to exist and to function.
Exactly. So Carmen, I want to thank you so much for being on our show today. And you guys get out there and find Carmen Carrera everywhere on social media. Carmen, tell them where you're located.
Oh, thank you so much. You can find me at Carmen _ Carrera, and that is on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook.
Awesome. And once again, also guys, you can find me everywhere out there on social media. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, you name it. And make sure you find that YouTube channel, because we are growing by leaps and bounds, and it is such a fun channel. So make sure you get on there and subscribe. So once again, Carmen, thank you so much for being with us. And then everyone have a great week.
Thank you, Teresa. Take care. Bye-bye.